Got my coffee and today's guest here with me, so we're ready to roll. Welcome to the Circular Coffee Break podcast, where we will be casually talking about everything circular and beyond. Now, my guest today is Mikko Pihavaara, Head of Sales, Partnerships and Hospitality at FC St. Pauli. With a very diverse background in brand partnerships, sponsorship and international business development, Mikko brings a wealth of experience from both the agency world and the global lifestyle and sports brands. At FC St. Pauli, he plays a central role in shaping the club's unique approach to partnerships and hospitality, grounded in the very strong values, community engagement, and commitment of doing things differently. Now, for those of you not familiar with the club, FC St. Pauli is a club from Hamburg playing in Germany's first division, the Bundesliga, celebrated for its cult status, progressive values, and commitment to social justice on and off the pitch. Today, we'll dive into the story and the identity of FC St. Pauli, explore how the club approaches collaboration with partners, and how themes like sustainability and circularity fit into its operations and culture. Welcome to the show, Mikko.
Many thanks, Michael, for inviting me.
Great. Let's maybe jump directly in. Could you maybe, to get us started, introduce yourself, share a little bit about your journey, what brought you to FC St. Pauli, and give us a little bit of an overview of the club of FC St. Pauli and its values?
Sure, more than happy to do so. So yeah, as your hearers already heard, I'm originally was born in Finland until the age of 9, and then moved to Germany with our family. And well, in my professional background has been quite diverse, as well as the club is where I'm employed today. I've been working in live music industry, in media, and market research. The times where you and I met back in the days. Had a short stint at a very big international sports marketing agency called Sport5. And that was also the time where the colleagues at FC St. Pauli got in touch with me. For me, it was actually quite a big surprise. I've also been a big follower of the club and sympathizer, even though my personal love has been Werder Bremen since day one, since we moved to Germany in 1994. And I was fully up for the offer when this came out of the blue, and I also have to say it has been one of the most craziest jobs I've ever kind of fulfilled in my 18 years of professional work. And why so? You already mentioned a couple of things for what our club stands for. We really do many things differently, like basically all other players in the football, the $1 billion or euro industry. We are still member driven. There is no sheikhs or investors from dodgy areas, no matter where from the world. It's member driven, almost like 50,000 members as of today. And when it comes to my position in the sales and marketing department, where I'm leading a team of, including myself, 7 people, we take care of all the new potential partners for the club, elsewhere sponsors. That's the name, but we never use that word actually at the club. And also we are taking care of all those approx 3,000 hospitality guests who are present at each and every home match at the legendary Millantor Stadium. 3,000 might not sound that much, but we have only a total capacity of 29,546. It is actually a higher percentage of hospitality seats at the stadium than, for example, a huge club like BVB Borussia Dortmund with a stadium of, I think, close to 80,000. I think they have 4,000 something hospitality seats. And why so? From the first day when we actually started to rebuild the stadium, the purpose was the tickets for the normal fans, they should stay as cheap as possible. We have a huge following from especially the harbor area. Like normal day job workers who have been coming to the games and watching us play. And of course, when you have a little bit higher percentage of hospitality, tickets are obviously more expensive. we can kind of side substitute the low price for the normal fan, so to say. And it has been quite a journey, and we are far from finished.
And maybe to go a little bit further on that, what are your key responsibilities? Like, how does a normal day look like for you in partnerships and hospitality? And then as we're on the circular coffee break, how does that relate? How does circularity factor into that? How does sustainability factor into what you're doing?
It is actually, and has been for quite many years, a big portion of when we go into, let's call it outbound, when we start to look for partners for the club. We have quite a lot of criterias and are very picky whom we actually want to have in the club. So, for instance, I mean, even given my background in sales, I've always been doing sales in all the positions I've been employed at. We don't do kind of mass mailing. We are very kind of focused and razor sharp whom we would love to see as a partner of the club. And when I look at the current partner board, it's about 40 partners who have been supporting the club. There's many very nice examples of how we do things differently compared to all the other sports clubs basically in Europe. Let me pick up, like, for example, Follow Food. It's a German company who have been with us for, I think, 4.5 years now. They started as a sustainable fish producer, but have expanded their portfolio of products into more food and beverage kind of sort of things. Everything very sustainable. And together with them and our other bigger partner, Edeka, which is one of the largest grocery mart chain in Germany. For example, in 2023, we were the first professional football club in Germany to introduce vegan bratwurst and an organic bratwurst. And the trick was also, I mean, because our fans are also very price sensitive, the price remained the same only thanks to our partner of Edeka, who of course have the capacities to produce organic bratwurst. And they actually kind of closed the gap in the pricing and the production costs themselves. Then let's look at other partners of the club. One of the first bigger ones where I was involved with my team was finding a new car manufacturer partner for the club. We had also very strong criterias. We will never ever, or would like to have a car manufacturer who has even a single normal car in their kind of portfolio, meaning like with oil or gas driven. So only 100% fully electrical car manufacturers came into consideration, and the list became quite short with those criterias, and we reached out to Smart. Many people might know and remember Smart for their very tiny cars with 2 seats. Well, that's actually history. Smart actually reinvented themselves 4 or 5 years ago, and they have been producing very nice electric 100% electric cars, and the next one is even coming out this spring. It's the fully kind of SUV electric one. So these are kind of examples where we are very strict. Or let me also name a third one, Back Market. It's a company from France. Instead of buying a new mobile phone, what Back Market does is they actually buy old mobile phones, refurbish them, and then sell them back to the market and make it circular. And that was kind of a dream partner for us as well. And they fit the club's vision also very good. And yeah, you asked me about how does a normal workday look like. I mean, it's quite balanced. As I mentioned, we have about 3,000 hospitality guests. It's about 650 companies in total we have to take care of. There's little things to organize, let's say funny and basic things. Oh, my grandmother turns 80. Can we do something special for her next match day? Maybe to meet the coach, etc. That kind of stuff. We have been sold out on the public for many, many years in the stadium for home matches, but even with the success in sports, when we got promoted to the first Bundesliga last summer in 2024, also the hospitality areas have been packed to the max. The waiting list is currently for about 300 companies who would love to have business seats at the Millantor. And we don't only have business seats, we also have quite something different on the skybox area. Given our very close range to the world-famous Reeperbahn, the skyboxes are called Séparés, and it's 39 in total, and each and every one is completely uniquely designed. The doors are open, which is also very uncommon in hospitality business and sports, because usually doors are closed. You have your guests there We have an open door policy, and you have to imagine. I mean, we have a band rehearsal room in one of them. We have one of our customers has kind of made kind of a separé with Alps team, I would say. So it's a Skihütte in German, you would say. And on the side of the separé, there's even a little train driving, which the kind of Wirt can control with some local schnapps from the area, from Austria, where the customer is coming from. And we have one more example at one of our oldest supporters, Frank Otto. He's part of the Otto family, very well known in Germany. Frank has been supporting the club for many, many, many years, and he has had the separé since the day one, since we have been offering these. And he has been supporting the local music scene a lot. And after every home match, in Frank's separé, I mean, you have to imagine it's about 30 square meters. There is a band playing, no matter what kind of genre. People are going there watching the live show, and there's also been some famous names there who have played a show at the Milan Tor right 15 minutes after a match.
You talked about the very strong fan base and the community, and alluded to that also with like how the community is coming together around game day in very many ways. And I know, for example, with your partner Edeka, you're doing also a lot of social events with the players, with the partners, and all of that. How does sustainability and circularity align with the club's values, the very strong values that the club has? And how does that resonate with the fans? I mean, you mentioned the vegan bratwurst. How are the fans involved in that? How do they perceive this push to sustainability, to circularity, and the focus that you and the team has, but also the broader club, naturally?
I mean, we have never given orders at the club. I think this is also quite unique. We have always listened to the fan base. We are still, until today, like I mentioned, a member-driven club. Everything is decided quite democratically. Of course, we have a leadership, a president, etc., vice presidents. We have our managing director and so forth. But we have always been listening to our fans. Our fans have evolved. I mean, when we look back in history to, let's say, early mid-80s, FC St. Pauli was like any other football club in Germany. There was no difference. I mean, and it only happened in the 80s when the squatter scene of the Hafenstraße in Hamburg, people who actually kind of occupied houses, they actually realized, oh, there is actually this district club. Let's go to football and let's go there. Obviously, they were from the left wing politically speaking, and they have actually evolved the club like what we are, let's say, like 40 years later, and sustainability becoming a more and more important issue. I mean, socially, our club has always been supporting not only the people in the district. I mean, our stadium is right in the middle of the city center. Usually stadiums are out in the outskirts of the city on a field. Ours is exactly right in center. I mean, when you look at our main tribune, there's, I think, 2 meters between the wall of our main tribune and the public school. So that is also quite unique. And I think what we did 3-4 years ago, we even established as one of the first clubs, professional football clubs in Germany, an own division in order to look after sustainable topics with a more clear focus. That has been kind of reporting ever since then to the president and the leadership. I think five colleagues are working in that. And we have actually initiated a lot of things in the stadium. But I still remember one of my ex-work colleagues quote very well: if we would like to be 100% sustainable, we would have to stop playing football at all. Of course, I mean, what would you take away from the people who so much love this club? It's not an option, obviously, and so there's many things planned. But of course, also we are restricted in some ways, given the space we are. For example, our training grounds, where our first men's team do all their trainings, it's like 7 kilometers north of the stadium because there's simply no space around it. But there's lots of things in the pipeline. We can always do better. Actually, the claim of our sustainability division is also not perfect, but better.
And I think that's a main thing, not to aim for perfect, but continuously improve, learn and improve. Because if you aim for perfect, I guess you will never get started because perfect is not reachable. But if you continuously look at things, if you're communicating with different parties, with different stakeholders, you have a chance to really have an impact at the end of the day. Now, you mentioned there's different initiatives, different projects ongoing. Could you maybe name some of the initiatives that the club has been undertaking around circular economy practices, either in operations, in the community outreach, in the different areas of the club?
Yeah, more than welcome to do so. I mean, especially our merchandising department has been a front runner in the club and also play an important role when it comes to revenue streams. St. Pauli has always been, even during our 13-year stint in the second Bundesliga, we were among the top clubs when it came to the merchandising revenues, the amount of those. But we have always been thinking a couple of steps ahead. How can we do it even more sustainable? And we are actually the only football club in the entire world who's member of Fairwear and also a couple of other organizations like GOTS and Fairtrade. We even equipped ourselves for 3 years with our own created brand called DIY. It's called Do It, Improve Yourself. And that was quite crazy because usually football clubs rely heavily on a kit supplier like the big ones. But back then, it was in the midst of the pandemic, we didn't see a kit supplier back then it's willing to go us the next steps into producing sustainable jerseys and merchandise. And that's when the crazy idea kind of was invented. Let's do it ourselves. We did it for 3 years. We're extremely happy with it. Of course, money-wise, it was not a disaster, but you could kind of keep the zero, so to say. We even had some interest from other clubs who were like, wow, this is like a cool idea. But obviously, we always have to balance the sustainable goals of the club. And we are still a professional football club who want to win, who want to have success on the pitch. And it's always about money. And that's also what makes my job also so interesting, because we have to keep the values. We have to keep also kind of to earn money in order to make the next steps. So that's when Puma, you know them from southern part of Germany, from Bavaria and Herzogenaurach, approached us. We started to think about how could we bring this entire DIY thing to the next level. And together with Puma, we actually initiated, when they became our kit supplier in the summer of 2024, the refiber system. This means our fans can actually bring their old jerseys. We have a couple of pickups spaces at the fan shops. And out of those polyester fibers, we actually create new ones. And out of those new ones, we create new jerseys for the years ahead. And so that is actually one of the biggest projects our merchandising has been running lately.
Cool. Yeah, and I think the merchandising team or the merchandising for FC St. Pauli has been recognized recently with a prize for exactly these type of initiatives. So I think you see that FC St. Pauli has been a front runner in many of these activities, as we also discussed before we pressed record. How do you see in that context the potential of sports clubs, sports organizations to really be a front runner in sustainability, but also circularity? Because very often, I mean, people come to the stadium, they look at the club, they look at what's happening there. I mean, referring again to the vegan bratwurst, people that might have never tried that in their everyday life, but now that as they're at the stadium and the club offers it, they might be willing to try it because it's their favorite club and they're into it. And sports naturally has a really high position in societal areas as well when it comes to influencing people, bringing people together, creating these communities. How do you see the role of clubs in general or sports organizations in general, but also FC St. Pauli in that area develop in the future? Where do you see some of the things that could be done in that space, or maybe you're already planning?
Well, we have been doing a lot of on the social side. I mean, I would even say like no one else, no other club has done so much social wise. I mean, I was just part myself 6-7 weeks ago in mid-February. We invite about, depends how many come, but 400-500 homeless people of Hamburg, where our partners also play a big role. We give out clothes for the cold days during winter time. We give out food. We give out different kind of supplies, and we have every Thursday in front of our offices, which are located in the south tribune of the Millantor Stadium. We have been having the Go Banyo bus. It's a bus for also homeless people where they can take a warm shower, and we actually kind of give, of course, the water and electricity for that. So we do already a lot. We also communicated about it, but I think I wouldn't say that we want to be a front runner. There was a clear purpose why we actually established already years back an own division and unit with the sustainable team led by my colleague Franziska. Why we want to kind of take this to the next level, but you can only do it step by step. Because like I said, we always have to keep in mind this has to be financed as well. Luckily, when we reached out to partners, I would say in 80-90% of the cases, all new partners and also the existing ones are very willing to kind of support social initiatives and bring also the stadium experience from a sustainable point of view to the next level without just kind of showing their logo and doing advertisement. I mean, this is whenever we actually hear, when we start talks with a potential new partner and we hear it's only about logo placement, we have to stop the talks and say this is not the club, not the right club for you and your brand.
And now we talked about the community and the fans. Sports is a highly paid business, and in many areas the players are paid a lot of money and all of that. I have the feeling from an outside perspective that the team buys into that at FC St. Pauli. I mean, if you hear the players talk, if you see how they behave, they buy into these values, and they're very strong supporters and advocates of exactly these topics that you just outlined, be it societal topics, be it environmental topics. The fight against racism is for me, or the pride topics are topics I think where the players have taken a very strong stand as well. How do you see that interplay between the players, the broader organization, the fan base, the community in that, and how do you see the involvement of the players? How critical is that? But also, how easy is it to get them on board to support these initiatives?
I think very easy, and this is thanks to our manager, a long-term manager already, Andreas Bornemann. And I know from my talks with Andreas that him and his staff, of course, first of all, it's about how does this and that player, I mean, how good are they in their position? It's always sports comes first. But second, of course, it's the values. I mean, we are a club which is so unique, and we might not be the right fit for some of the players who are out on the market at a certain period of time. But we really take care of that they also kind of, I mean, they don't have to kind of support it like every day. But you have to align, of course, with the values of the club. And I think a perfect example is, of course, our captain, Jackson Irvine, who's also the captain of Australia. Until, I think, early this year, Jackson, he lives a couple of 100 meters from the stadium. He comes by foot to the games. He actually just mentioned in a recent interview, whenever the team wins, it's always a bit stressy for him on the way back home because he has to stop in every bar at the St. Pauli district and have a beer with the fans. This is quite, I would say, special. This wouldn't happen with our opponents' players. So it's very familiar. But and also to adding to Jackson, he also drove with the public transport to the training rehearsals before he got actually a new smart, what I heard recently.
Yeah, I think it's and that's one of the things that draws me to FC St. Pauli. It really feels like still one of these old school football clubs where football is the thing, but where community is also very high, and where you stand behind your values at the end of the day. In a lot of other clubs, not only limited to football, also in many other sports, you sometimes have the feeling that commercial interests are stronger than other interests in that context. So it's great to see and great to hear from you that really is a balance that everyone shares, from the players to the organization to the fan base, and even beyond that.
May I add one more example when you speak about commercialization, Michael? I remember I think it was in November 2023, we had a home match against Hannover 96. And our main partner, Kongstar, it's a mobile phone operator from Germany who have been the main partner of the club for more than 11 years. They wanted to do a kind of special match day promotion. And back then in November 23, there were about 30,000 people who have lost their lives when fleeing from Africa en route via the Mediterranean Sea to Europe. This actually is almost the same amount of people we have seats in the stadium. And what was really a miracle moment back then, I mean, our fan base is very critical when it comes to commercial things. Our organized fan scene actually knew that, and they, without even speaking with our main partner or with the executives of the club, they organized a choreo called Seenot ist kein Verbrechen. Seenotrettung, excuse me, is kein Verbrechen. Made a huge kind of thing. It was very atmospheric, and this had nothing to do with please buy the next mobile phone subscription from Kongstar. So it's always value driven. That's what many of our partners also do. And I would say at 99% of other professional sports clubs, not likely to happen.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Now, Mikko, unfortunately, the coffee is empty. It's time to wrap up this episode of the Circular Coffee Break. But before I let you go, maybe one question looking into the future. How do you envision the future of circularity in sports altogether, broadly? But also, what's next for FC St. Pauli in terms of sustainable practices in the context of partnerships and hospitality, and maybe more specifically circularity?
It's always very hard to speak for other clubs because my team and I, our focus is so much every day on our club. And I think we really want to do still things better. There's room for improvement. We want to get even more partners who are even more aligned with us, even though actually they all already are. But there's of course some brands out there we would love to see us as a future partner of the club with the right concept and so forth. And when it comes to hospitality, I mean, there's crazy ideas. I've been looking at different kind of concepts from companies who would like to rent a skybox or a separé, as they're called, at our stadium. So many things are happening. Maybe one sneak peek. We have been planning this for quite some while, but some things sometimes take time because you mentioned the cult and the punk rock club at St. Pauli. We will finally get very cool sun panels on the rooftop of the North Tribune. And of course, it's the St. Pauli kind of where we are doing this together with our long-term partner Lichtblick. It's actually a green energy producer and a company from Hamburg. And what even makes it more special, next door to the North Tribune, we have an old bunker from World War II, which actually got last year in summer a publicly accessible kind of platform where people can go Monday to Sundays. And you can actually see those panels with a message. And that message I will not reveal now, as of summer this year. So step by step, we are looking into things. Also, the usage of rainwater, used water has been a big topic.
Cool. Really something to look forward to. And it's kind of a cliffhanger. So everyone will be looking out for what is the message on the roof going forward. So, and I would encourage everyone to visit the stadium. It's really something. I think it's as you said, it's right in the middle of the city. It's really embedded into the culture of the city. Thanks a lot, Mikko, for joining me today.
Thanks, Michael.
Great. And thank you for all of you out there listening. As always, we hope today's episode brought you yet another perspective to circularity, to sustainability, this time in the context of sports, football. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, subscribe, or give us a 5-star rating on your platform of choice. Helps us to build the Circular Coffee Break community and to basically maximize the impact we have around driving circularity. Your support means a lot to us. That's why we do all of this. So looking forward to hear from you and to see your feedback. Now, the only thing left for me is to thank all of you for listening today, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you here on the Circular Coffee Break podcast.